Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So, we're keeping up with the patch 1.71 update videos today. This one in particular is some footage of me grinding for the T64A in my T55A. This was, up until the addition of the T64, the top tier tank for the USSR, and I'm on the folder map. I wanted to make this video pretty much to cover some of the additions in this patch in as short a time as possible. The two games that I have for you today were both over half an hour long in total, so there's some heavy editing going on here, mainly focusing on the tanks that I'm fighting and the maps that I'm on. I may title this video in regards to the second clip, which was a game where MikeGoesBoom was in it as well. But that might be a bit clickbaity, I don't know yet, we'll see. If that's the case, depending on how I word it, I was not squadded with him, he was just in the same game as me. Alright? Right, that's out of the way. So, I've moved up to the castle in the centre of the map. This is playing on the battle mode. There's a MBT-70 over there, I believe. Or KPZ-10. They all look the same, okay? Now, one of my main gripes with those tanks at the moment is that people... Alright, so the biggest problem I have with this patch at the moment is that people are just buying their way to these new tanks, and they are vastly superior, he says, as he kills a MBT-70, to what the British, the Americans and the Russians, and the Japanese for that matter, currently have at top tier. The Japanese don't have any 8.7 BR battle tank yet, although I imagine they will add that in future patches. Yeah. The thing is the KPZ, I don't know about the MBT. The MBT's reload is slightly slower, I believe, but the KPZ, sorry, has a 6-second reload on a fully aced crew. Although, because it's an auto-loader, it's going to be 6 seconds whether it's an ace crew or not, which is utterly astounding. I mean, this has a 100mm gun and it reloads substantially slower. KPZ-70, one shot through the side of the turret. Sabo has become the order of the day, as opposed to Heat, because the new tanks have either reactive armour or composite armour. The KPZ and the T64 both have composite armour, and the American M60 Rise has ERA. So, editing out, if we could please go to the next clip now. Thank you very much. So, this is several minutes later into the game. I didn't encounter any other vehicles up until this point. This bit is to demonstrate the new Gaijin's way of preventing spawn camping. Effectively, this stops you from going outside of... It's kind of like a map border. If you go into, you'll see the red lines there on the map around the enemy's base, spawn point. It will come up with returning to battlefield. If you continue to drive in any further, then your tank will be destroyed, much as if you were going out to go out of bounds in any other scenario. It works in the exact same way. This is a fantastic idea, apart from the fact that ATGMs can still sit 2 kilometers away and fire into your spawn. They haven't figured out a way of solving that yet. But hey, it's an addition that I, for one, am certainly grateful for, and I'm sure other people will be as well. Any addition in this regard is a good addition, in my opinion. And, you know, it can be worked on. There's always room for improvement with anything, but at least they're going in the right direction. So something over there has just popped smoke. The IT-1 to my right has decided to fire into it, and didn't hit jack shit as far as I can tell. Actually, no, scratch that. I think he may have just killed a Leopard 1. Fair play to him, that was quite a long range. You have an SPA shooting at me, I take a shot, miss completely. I can see his headlights there, and I can see him moving. But I'm trying to get the range. That's too high. Yeah, that was too high. So yeah, the way of preventing spawn camping is a very good idea, and thank you very much Gaijin for adding that. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. Of course it isn't perfect, but then nobody is perfect, Gaijin isn't perfect, and the game isn't perfect, but there's always room to improve. So I look forward to seeing how they're going to change this in future patches, to improve it, assuming that they decide to do this, of course. Leopard 1 over there. I take his track. Takes a shot at me and misses. That was quite lucky. I imagine he's firing heat. Take another shot. Penetrate through the top of the turret, which is odd. Kill his commander, wound his gunner and loader. Aim a little bit lower. Try and take another shot here. Yeah, that went low. And I'm going to get taken out in a minute by a Raketen Jagdpanzer II. Hot. ATGM tanks, of course, are still perfectly effective against this tier of vehicle. And welcome to our second gameplay clip. This is on the other new Ground Forces map, Japan, which I rather like. It's very pretty, just as Folder is, although it's nowhere near as large. I think one of the things that the Folder map has got going for it is its sheer size. Of course, with the KPZ and the MBT being able to fire ATGMs, yeah, they're going to have a great time. So I briefly mentioned earlier that people have been buying their way to these new tanks because they're not connected to the tanks that come before them, apart from, I think, the Centurion Mark 10. I think that's right, you'll have to let me know in the comments. And the M60, I think. Ooh, a Leopard 1. Good night, sweet prince. Yeah, people can just, assuming they have enough vehicles in Tier 5 to research them, people have just been buying them. And this is fine, I mean, it's very wallet warrior-y, but I suppose I'm just salty because I don't have the money to do it. If I could do it, I would most certainly do it, but I have to grind my way there instead. Although because my T55A and my T62, neither of which are elite, they're not fully upgraded, I have loads of upgrades to go through, and as I get each tier of upgrade, I think I got, when I finished this tier of upgrade for the T55, I got 20,000 experience into the T64, which is brilliant. That's, assuming I was running a premium account and had Talisman, that's 3 or 4 games worth, you know, decent games worth of XP, just like that. So, yeah, I can't really complain. It's going to take longer, but, you know, it's fun. It's playing the game. This is why we're all here. This was a very fast match. Yeah. Finished off the T95E1. Can't stand those bloody things anyway. See MikeGoesBoom there in his T64. I was told that if you were playing these tanks on the test server, if you ground them out in the test server, you also got to keep them in the live server. I don't imagine this is true, but that's what I've been told. Going by the fact that most of the big YouTubers like Mike, Fly, I don't know about Baron, I don't watch any of his stuff anymore, but most of them who are taking part in the test server still have these high tier tanks, so I would assume that that's correct. I think that chieftain over there is still alive. He isn't. I waste a shot, but better safe than sorry. A mouse. Tough target from the front, not so much from the rear. One shot straight through the back of the turret. I'm also very much liking the new turret physics that they've implemented into the game. It's a small thing, but it adds to immersion. Rather than the turrets sinking through the floor like they used to, they now have physics, which means they interact with the ground. If they land on the floor, they bring up a small cloud of dust, and if they land on the hull, then they hit it, roll off, or hit it and stay where they are, and it adds to the immersion, and I like that. So that's pretty much it for this game. I'm going to let it keep playing anyway, because why the hell not? This was a 3-kill match. That was my last kill, but I'm quite happy with that. As for the way I've been playing to grind the C64 and get the modifications for my tanks, I haven't unlocked the fin stabilized sabot shell for the T55 yet. I am in the process of grinding it for the T62, or the second version of. Although the T55, the standard sabot shell seems to be doing reasonably well, as you've seen in the first clip fighting the KPZs and the MBT-70s. So I haven't got really any complaints about that, although your armour is... I mean, the armour on these things wasn't great before, but because of the introduction of the new tanks, people seem to be firing Sabo of one description or another, whether it be fin stabilised or not, more commonly than they were using heat before these new tanks were added, because heat just won't work on them anymore, or at least not as much, which kind of works rather well for tanks with less armour like my T-55 and T-62s, because the chances are they're going to penetrate and then just poof, the shell will take out the cannon breech or one of the crew members. The only way they can kill you is if they set off your ammo rack or blow your fuel tanks up, which can happen, yeah, but it's a lot less likely. So thank you very much everybody who decided to watch this video. If you want to like, share and subscribe, or dislike if you don't, that's fine as well. Please do, it really helps out the channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be bringing more War Thunder content for patch 1.71 as and when it becomes available, and I'll certainly be posting footage of the T-64A when I unlock it. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next War Thunder video.